Here we are with an unboxing of the ZTE Tureis, if that's how you pronounce it correctly. This is a new device from ZTE, the Chinese manufacturer, and without doubt it is a budget Android handset with a BlackBerry form factor, but shouldn't push it aside just because of the fact that it is a budget handset. It's got a lot to offer, and at its price point it's actually a really good product in our opinion, if money is the main factor in making a decision on the device. So let's take a look at what you get. So fairly minimal packaging from the outside, but inside you do get a quick start guide and some warranty information. Inside you get the device itself, which we'll come back to in a minute. We then have a set of in-ear headphones with 3.5mm headphone jack. They do look quite cheap, but they'll do the job. We've got a 3-pin UK mains adapter because this is a UK specification model, and on the other end of this adapter we've got a USB port into which you can connect the provided USB to micro USB cable. So you connect that into there like so, and connect the other end to the device and charge it from a main socket. We then have the battery here as well, so you get 1110 milliamp hour battery. So for a device of this type, although it's got a touch screen as well, it should be more than enough to get it through a working day, especially as the target audience for this device isn't exactly the power users. So let's take a look at the device itself. So it's running Android 2.3, so although it's cheap, it's not exactly behind the times. It's got an 800 MHz processor on board, so not super snappy, but fast enough for most things when you consider this sort of layout is designed for emailing and you don't need a fast processor when it comes to emailing. You do have a micro SD card slot which supports cards up to 32GB in capacity. You've got a 2.6-inch touchscreen LCD display there, so it's not huge, but it's not small, and it's not super bright. It's not using AMOLED or Super LCD, it's just a standard LCD capacitive screen. You've got 3G on here as standard, you've got Bluetooth, you've got Wi-Fi. You've got this 4-row QWERTY keyboard which have raised keys, and they actually feel quite tactile, quite well spaced. The Motorola Fire or the Motorola Pro, for example, their keys are much closer together, and they're more expensive devices. The HTC Charger, which this could be compared to, has better space keys, but not an awful lot in it in terms of key positioning. Because it's Android, you've got the Google Maps and what have you on here. This has got a GPS receiver inbuilt. It's also got on the back a 3.2 megapixel camera. No flash on this, which is a bit of a downside, and it would be nice if this was 5 megapixels, but having said that, this device comes in the region of, well, less than £150 inclusive of that, in some cases around £120. So it weighs in at 130 grams and measures 112 by 63.2 by 11.8 millimeters. So let's take a look. We've got the touch screen here, we've got a loudspeaker up here, or for the sound when you're making a call and what have you. We've got physical buttons either side here for the starting and ending a call. We've also got a physical home, menu, search and back button. So we've actually got quite a few comprehensive keys. So although this is a budget handset and they've aimed it at that market, it's quite nice to see these keys. You very rarely do you see that now on a smartphone. It's all done through the touchscreen, and actually that's really quite a nice feature. We've also got a navigation pad here. It's not optical, so you can't do this. You do actually have to press physically up, down, left or right, but no great shakes there. On the bottom of the device it is flush, it's curved. On the side we've got the micro USB charging port. On the top we've got the power button and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And then on the other side we've got the volume rocker keys. On the back we then have the 3-megapixel camera, the loudspeaker and the ZTE branding. This is a fairly soft but matte finish, so it's quite nice, it doesn't pick up all the fingerprints. Got a small recess here for removing the back cover, so if we just pull that back off, and then underneath what we've got is the SIM card slot and a micro SD slot. They do provide a 2GB card in the box as well. So you can pop the battery in like so. So that's the ZTE Tureis, available from clove.co.uk today. We'll be back in another video to give you a software tour.